Hey guys, so this video is going to be kind of like my postpartum and also what is in my diaper bag video put together, because I really don't really have much to say about postpartum because nothing's really changed. So I guess I'll explain when I get into it. So Mavis was born on June 22nd at 1:53 p.m. via C-section. A C-section was not my plan. I did not want a C-section. I wanted to have a vaginal birth with an epidural. It didn't happen that way. I went in the night before and they started me on this little pill that they have to insert in places, and it's supposed to help your cervix, I guess, in some way. I'm not really sure, but pretty much if that was going good and it opened me up, they weren't going to give me another one, which they didn't. Then they started me on Pitocin. Okay, then they started me on Pitocin, and the Pitocin worked really well. Really well, because I went from feeling really nothing and fine, because the pill just helps relax, I guess, I don't know, but the Pitocin, like, you know, did it. And then I knew that I wasn't going to allow myself to get to the point where I was going to be in tears with the pain, because there's just no point in being that much into pain. So I got right up to the point where I thought I was going to start crying from the contractions, and I asked for the epidural. So, and I guess this is also my hospital story, sorry. But, so, they gave me the epidural, and I felt instantly better, pretty much. Well, then, they noticed that when I would have a contraction, it would go up and then back down. When it would end, her heart rate would drop. And it wasn't so much where it was like, you know, a big deal, because it would go back up to normal, but it was just not good still. So my doctor came in and he looked at the stuff, and I loved my doctor, by the way, so he did everything he could to make sure that we waited, but not to the emergency point, because he really wanted to go by my plan, just like I did. So he looked at this stuff and he said, okay, her heart rate is declining when you end your contractions, so she's not really doing well. Before, when I was having contractions, she was fine. It was once I had the epidural, kind of, so they slowed down my Pitocin. They stopped the Pitocin at one point, and then they kept monitoring me. So about an hour's window, he came in 3 times. He said, okay, if her heart rate doesn't go back to like normal without dropping, we could have to have a C-section. Then he came back in, he's like, okay, we're looking more towards having a C-section. And then finally he sat down, he's like, so we're gonna have a C-section. He's like, you don't need to worry, because we're not in an emergency state. We have plenty of, you know, she's still doing okay, because it was still going back up. It was just the fact that it was dropping is not good. So, they told me what was going to happen. The doctor had already called the people that do the C-sections. They call the people that do the C-section stuff, and they were going to be there in 30 minutes. So one of the doctors came in and talked to me, told me what was going to go on and stuff like that. Then a different guy came in and told me what was going to happen, and then they got me ready. They gave Adam a little white suit thing, a thing to put on his head, and a thing to put on his face. And they did so they gave him that, and they said that they told him that once they would take me into the room that he could get dressed into that. Well, he did it automatically anyway. And then, oh, and then little booties to put on his feet too. So they get me all ready and stuff, and then they transfer me into a room right outside my door, because I was right by where they do C-sections. You went out and to the right, and then you were right there. I guess it was convenient that way, I don't know. But since they already had the epidural, they started giving me more stuff to numb me in my epidural. And so pretty much I couldn't feel from like my boobs down. I couldn't feel anything at the point where they just kept giving me stuff until I told them I couldn't feel them touching me. And if you've had a C-section, you know, they block off everything and you can't see anything. Not that I would want to, but they just, you know, put that stuff up, and then they rub this stuff in my tummy, and they, you know, asked questions like, can you feel this? Can you feel this? And then things like that. Well, then when I was ready finally to like start, because they were like, can you feel this? And I was like, no. And all I could feel was like, it felt like when your foot goes to sleep and it feels like needles. That's what it felt like to me. And I'm like, no, I don't feel it. It just feels tingly. And they're like, okay, well, I'm going to poke you with something sharp, because I thought they were already poking with something sharp. And they're like, that was just my finger. And I was like, oh. So they waited a little longer. They gave me a tiny bit more. I don't know what they were giving me, but it was my epidural. And they gave me more. And then when they were like, can you feel this? I was like, no, when they started. And that was the something sharp, like an actual instrument, I guess. And then Adam came in, and then he sat behind me and held my hand and stuff. And I didn't freak out. Like, I was very calm. And apparently a lot of people have problems with, you know, the idea that you can't feel your body. And all I was worried about was getting her out. Like, if she was having problems, I just wanted her to be okay. So I didn't want to freak out, because me freaking out would freak her out. And that wouldn't have been good for anybody. So I was very, you know, okay with just, let's do this, you know. So they finally get her out. It didn't take that long. They did all of it. It felt weird, because obviously stuff has to come out of the way. I'm not going to, like, explain it, because it's really gross. But, you know, if you've had a C-section, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you hadn't had a C-section, Google it. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it and gross everybody out. But things have to be moved and opened and things like that. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so I mean, there was no question when she was out. She was screaming away when she got out. She was crying, and they say it's a girl, and then Adam is like, there's so much hair, and she has a full head of hair. And I was bald, apparently, when I was born. Adam apparently had hair when he was born, so she gets it from him. Her hair is like my color, I guess, but a little lighter, and it's, I don't know, she's perfect. So she got out and she was fine, and we were in the hospital for 4 days. Yeah, 4 days. And when we came home, things, you know, takes its time. When they closed my incision, they used glue. They used staples or sewing it up. They used glue. So I was told, like, how to take care of it and what not to do to it and things like that. So my incision's good now. And things like that. I don't go back to my doctor until the 3rd of August. Today is July 20th. I If you heard that she just farted, sorry. She's supposed to be napping. She's asleep, but she's very moving. So yeah, that is gone good. My milk came in right away. My incision was been fine. I mean, like it hurt to do things at first, of course, because they cut through muscle and stuff and things like that. It's just a given that it takes time, you know. Everything's gone good. I haven't had any depression. I've not been sad. I'm very, I don't know what the word would be, but like very protective. Like I want certain people to hold her and not to, and things like that. But I don't know what that would be considered, but I'm very like, why are you holding my baby? Like, why do you need to hold her? Because my cousin said she went through this. I don't know if it's the same thing, but she said that she missed being pregnant. I don't miss being pregnant. I just don't like wanting to share her besides with Adam. Like, I just want her to be our baby and nobody else to like want to be around her. Obviously, that's not the case because, of course, everybody else that's in her life that loves her is going to want to hold her and be around her. I just don't want them to want that. I don't know what that's called, but I guess it's because like she was mine and like I had her and like nobody else could have her when she was inside me, so it was, you know, and now I have to share her. I don't know. It's getting better, but I'm still kind of like, meh. But everything else is going great. I don't really know what else to say about it. She's gonna be a month on Wednesday. Today's Monday. So she'll be a month old, and she's just perfect. Here, let me see if I can show you her. Oh, yep. And yeah, that's all for my postpartum. Since this has been longer, I'm going to cut this short and then do a different video for my diaper bag thing. So I'll talk to you guys in the next video. I'll be wearing the same stuff and everything like that. So yeah.